The Good Place is one of my favorite shows of recent memory. And to celebrate its fourth and final season, I thought I would just share with you something that I've noticed about the show. It all goes back to this one line Michael says in the first episode.
Every religion guessed about 5%.
And while watching the show, I would see these little elements that would remind me of some real life religions and thought, hey, maybe this is a thing they got right. So here they are. Confucianism and the bureaucracy of heaven. In Confucianism and traditional Chinese religion, they believe that there is an emperor of heaven, also known as the Jade Emperor. But unlike Zeus or Odin, who despite being kings of the gods, never actually do any boring government stuff, the Jade Emperor is all about boring government stuff. He has a Secretary of Education, Development, Economy, War, and many other things. And there is a myriad of other spirits, all fulfilling government roles, and all of them require always the proper paperwork in order to do anything. So it is just like a real life government, just like heavenly and perfect. This is very similar to what we see in the show. I mean, there is no Jade Emperor, but there is the judge. There's the director of the bad place, and there must be a director of the good place, come to think of it. And there are all the architects, and in the medium place they literally have offices, and they have to sign requests for immediate suicide, which are rejected. So it is exactly like a real life government, except it deals with afterlife stuff. It is the bureaucracy of the afterlife. Christianity and eternal bodies. The Bible mentions that when Jesus left earth, he ascended to heavens. But here's the thing, he ascended to heaven with his body. From that, Catholics and many other Christians believe that Jesus still has his body. And since God has a body in the afterlife, then so will we. That is the origin of the Christian doctrine of eternal bodies. Many Christian denominations teach that in the day of judgment, all the dead people will be resurrected, their bodies will be reconstructed, and everyone will be judged. And they will go either to heaven or hell with those eternal bodies. This is very similar to what we see in the show. I mean, all the characters are dead, but they still have bodies. They still feel pain or pleasure, they still eat. Apparently, they even still go to the bathroom. Even the characters that were never alive in the first place, like the judge, Michael, or Janet, they all have bodies. They all have eternal bodies. Mormonism and Zion. Besides believing in eternal bodies, Mormons also believe in Zion, the heavenly Jerusalem, a perfect city in the afterlife where all the good people will live in a perfect utopia forever. Joseph Smith, the Mormon prophet, even drew the plans for the city. Here they are. As you can see, it would have 46 neighborhoods, and it would hold 15,000 people. When it fills up, another Zion would be built. Now, if we have 15,000 people living in 46 neighborhoods, that's 326 people per neighborhood, which is very close to the 322 people per neighborhood. Now, Michael Shore has gone on record saying that the 322 was just a random number. But in the universe of the show, this is what makes the most sense. Now, I don't know what it means that in the world of the show the Mormons got actually two things right, the eternal bodies and the heavenly neighborhoods, but South Park has been saying for decades that only Mormons go to heaven, so... Hinduism and karma. Now, this one is very obvious, right? Karma is just like a point system for your actions, just like in the show. However, at this point you might be thinking that, well, every religion has their own version of the point system, right? And well, the answer is actually no. In Christianity, for example, what gets you away from heaven and into hell is not exactly the good actions you made, but your sins. In some versions of Christianity, it doesn't matter how many good actions have you made. If you have committed a single mortal sin, that's it. You are condemned to hell. Until you ask for forgiveness, of course. And both in Christianity and Islam, It's not only your actions what matters, but also that you believed the right thing. So there actually are a few religions that have a point system just like in the show. One is Hinduism, but also interestingly Manichaeism, a religion that is now extinct. They used to believe that all your actions would gather light in your soul, and that all your bad actions would gather darkness in your soul. And when you die, if you have enough light, you would be able to find your way back to God and help him in his fight against the evil spirits that want to destroy the world. It's a long story. And if you have enough darkness, then, well, you can't, and you join the spirits that are fighting against God. Manichaeism is actually a very interesting religion. One day I'm gonna make a video explaining it. And well, that's all for me today. If you saw anything else in the show that you think is what some specific religion got right, then please share with us in the comments. And while you are there, why don't you subscribe and give a like? It would earn you a ton of points. Maybe not enough to get in the good place, but definitely into the medium place. Guaranteed.